This is Charlene. I want to welcome you to another episode of the Southern Gal's Kitchen. We're going to do a really good southern dish today, and that's corn casserole. It's going to have some cream cheese and some butter and some breadcrumbs on top. It's a really simple, easy dish, but I like to use fresh corn. Now you can use frozen corn. Use 2 cups, but I like fresh, and I'm going to show you I know you probably have seen this, but in case you haven't, if you have a bundt pan or just a bowl, take your corn and stick it right down in there. I'm going to do it this way. Stick it that way. Get you a good sharp knife, and you can just cut that right off of there, and it will fall right into your bowl. What doesn't fall on the cabinet. Sometimes it pops out just a little bit, but it's not too bad. It's a pretty easy way of doing it. And just cut it slowly and put your hand there. That will help keep it from popping all over the place too. And then just make sure you get all that corn off of there though. Good sweet corn, Silver Queen corn is what I like in the spring. And I did buy some and put it in the freezer. And once you freeze it, you can use that, or like I said, you can just buy some sweet frozen corn. All that good milk in there. But this is a pretty easy way of cutting your corn off the cob without cutting your hand. Pretty simple. You want to get down to the juicy part. That's the good part, what they call the milk of the corn. There's really not much better than just fried corn anyway. Just cut it off the cob fresh and stir fry it with just a little bit of butter and salt and pepper in your skillet. That's about as good as it gets when it comes to corn in my book. It's good on the cob, but that cut off the cob and fried, what we call fried corn, is really good stuff. Let me set this over here. Do one more ear for you. Like I said, you want about 2 cups. It doesn't take long to do this. I do like 6 or 10 ears at a time and just put them in my freezer. Don't blanch them or anything like they say, but just put them in there. It makes really good corn when we want to have corn. You can fry it, you can use it in casseroles, you can do whatever you want with it. So if you do just 6 or 10 ears at a time, then another day do a different batch. It's not quite as overwhelming. Otherwise I feel like I used to put up like bushels. I don't do that anymore. That's a lot of work when you do like a couple of bushels at a time and just stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Falling down in there. Cut that off, and that's really all you want to do. And then we're going to cook this corn. We'll get 2 cups. We're going to cook it in a skillet with just a little bit of butter, and we'll add some 4 ounces of cream cheese in there. And then we're going to bake it in the oven. Put a little bit of buttered panko. It's not panko breadcrumbs. You could use that. I have whole grain breadcrumbs. Is what I'm. As you saw me, showed you how to do that. This is 2 cups of corn in here and a 1/4 of a cup of butter melted, and you just heat that until it just sort of gets, I don't know, it looks creamy, not only from the butter, but there's some juice cooking out of that corn. It's really fried corn at this stage, which is awesome by itself. You can't beat fresh corn cut off the cob, fry it in some butter, some salt and pepper. Just cook it down until it it doesn't take long for fresh corn to cook through at all. Frozen, just cook it until it's, until it's tender, until it's where you want it, just like you do frozen corn, if you use the frozen. I take ears of corn and I freeze, cut them off the cob, and I freeze. I don't freeze a lot, but I'll freeze enough ears to get us through the winter. And because we like the fresh corn better than the frozen corn. It's just so sweet and so good. Silver Queen is what we use around here, and it grows in this part of the country. And that is plenty ready to go. And all we're going to add to this is really just a pinch of salt and pepper. And I've already measured out a pinch here, but a pinch of salt and pepper in there. And we're going to put 4 ounces of cream cheese. We're going to let that just sort of blend in there. That's all we're going to do there. It's going to take but a minute to turn this burner down. I don't want it to get too hot here on me at this point. We just want to melt our cream cheese in there. And then you bake this off in the oven. I'm going to put a little bit of a breadcrumb. You can do panko on the top with some butter. You could use crackers, those kind of buttery crackers like we all like, with some butter. Or I've got a whole grain breadcrumb, which is what I had on hand, so that's what I'm going to use. I think it's Italian seasoning in it. You could have Italian seasoning. You could even add a dash of Italian seasoning in here if you needed to. But you just want to mix all this up. I've got this turned down on medium, so we don't just cook it to death. You just want to get everything blended. That's kind of blended up there. It's looking pretty good. I'll turn this off. And this is an amazing side dish with chicken or roast beef or chops or whatever you want to fix it with. Even if you got a vegetarian dish, this is a good vegetarian side if you used like a dairy-free cream cheese. You make a vegetarian dish out of it. And they make vegetarian butters nowadays. I cook vegetarian dishes sometimes, and I really like some a lot. So I'm good with that. Alright, I've got a greased, buttered dish. It's kind of like a little bigger than a loaf pan would be. You could do a square dish, might be a little bit big, but just something that's not too big. And it's already greased. I buttered it, and then I sprayed just a little bit of the spray olive oil on there. And I'm going to put this in here carefully because it's hot. And then we're going to add our topping on it. We're going to bake it in the oven. And let's see, how long does it bake? About 30 minutes. So the crumbs on top just kind of get crunchy and brown, because this is already cooked in a way. I mean, there's not anything you got to cook here. So this dish probably just a little bit big. It's pretty small, but it's gonna be all right. I'm gonna make her use a smaller dish. You could even do little individual corn casserole dishes. But I like this with the cream cheese in it. I've seen a version of this you can do in the crock pot too. I don't have that memorized, but I know there is one there that you can do with corn and cream cheese. I'll kind of set this aside now. And this stove thing is hot, so I'll get something to move it back with. It's hot to the touch. Okay, we're going to spread this out, and then we'll put our topping on there. It looks good, and I tell you, that sweet corn like that, cut off the cob, oh, it is so sweet, because it's just awesome corn. Silver Queen is such a sweet corn, and it just makes it so good. I didn't get all my salt and pepper out of there. Got it. All that in there. We don't want to not put that in. We might need it. Okay. Kind of stuck in the bowl there. Okay, I'll spread this out again. And then we're going to put just a little bit of breadcrumbs on the top. You don't have to, but I kind of like them. I've got a 1/4 of a cup here, and just about a tablespoon of melted butter. Blend those together. That way your butter's over all your breadcrumbs, not just kind of over part of them. If you pour it just on the top, it doesn't really coat them all really very well. I like them coated. You don't want too many breadcrumbs on here. It's not supposed to be too crunchy. Just a little crunch. And again, you can use panko. You can use whatever you want, crackers, those buttery crackers, and just sprinkle butter on them, crunch them up, and just sprinkle that on there. It's going to bake in the oven, like I said, about 30 minutes at 350, and we're going to have an awesome casserole here. And I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Crusty. I had whole grain, like I said, but it's crunchy little top on it, and this stuff is just amazing. You're going to love it. If you've never had this, you definitely need to put it on your list to try. If you have a very big family, you're probably going to want to double this recipe. For us, I made a smaller. You could double it and then some probably for a big family. But it's just that butter and that fresh corn is so sweet. And that cream cheese and that topping. It's wonderful. You gotta try it. Let me know how you like it if you try it.
Hello, this is Shirley Sando, host of the Southern Gal's Kitchen, and I want to thank you for watching our show today. We hope you enjoyed it. We certainly enjoyed filming it. And I hope you'll watch us on Sunday afternoons at 3 p.m. Eastern on Mupo TV. And I'd love to see you there. And be sure and like, subscribe, and share our video. Thanks.